let's go back in time right now. I want to make a comparison why the WNBA has missed the boat on this. When Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, you remember them, they helped explode the popularity of the NBA. When that happened, did the league say, wait a minute, we're talking too much about Magic and Bird. Let's pull back on them. Let's pull back a bit so we can make sure everybody gets equal attention. No, the NBA didn't do that. They put Magic and Bird everywhere. And guess what happened? People started learning about everybody else in the NBA. The NBA exploded. It was must-see TV. And then Michael Jordan came along. Did the NBA say at that time when MJ came along, Michael's getting too much attention. We need to take some of that spotlight away from him and give it to Patrick Ewing and give it to Charles Barkley? Of course they didn't say that. They put Michael Jordan in the brightest spotlight they could find. And Barkley became a star. Ewing became a star. Karl Malone became a star. Reggie Miller became a star. You get the trend here? There's a lesson here. When your biggest star makes the pie bigger, everybody gets a bigger piece. That's what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, and that's what Caitlin Clark continues to do for the WNBA. And here's what makes the resistance to her popularity even more fascinating. Caitlin Clark is not walking around demanding you talk about her. She's doing the opposite. She's not saying this is my league. She talks about her teammates. She talks basketball. And when she's dragged into controversies that have nothing to do with basketball, most of the time, she'd rather not talk about it. And she shies away from it. The fans made this decision. The audience makes this decision. You can debate whether Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA. I get that. You can debate whether she's the MVP. I get that too. I love these debates. These are basketball debates. But her impact on the popularity of this league, that's not much of a debate. And acknowledging Caitlin Clark's impact does not diminish A'ja Wilson, does not diminish Olivia Miles, does not diminish Paige Beckers. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Caitlin Clark's enormous popularity gives the WNBA an opportunity to make all of these women bigger stars. Once again, it is common sense. So instead of constantly worrying about whether Caitlin is getting too much attention, why don't you use that attention? Use it. The WNBA spent decades asking America, pay attention to us, pay attention to our league. Well, America is paying attention now. And if one player helped open that door wider than it's ever been before, don't resent her for it. Don't minimize it. Don't try to manufacture somebody else to replace her in the spotlight. Just use the spotlight. And then walk every other great player in this league right through that door with her. Why is this so difficult to understand? Maybe you can help me. Tell me in the chat box. Oh, speaking of Caitlin Clark, because I can't get enough of it, because I saw all this and it got my attention. Now, I don't have an MVP vote, but if I had an MVP vote, I'd vote for Caitlin Clark. And I know exactly the kind of season A'ja Wilson is having. She's been spectacular this season. A'ja Wilson is, averaging over 26 points, 9.5 rebounds. She's doing great. And of course, she's one of the best defensive players in basketball. So this is not about tearing A'ja Wilson when I say this. This is about one word, valuable. What does most valuable player actually mean? I know we have this debate in all of sports, but I'm bringing it up again. Because after another huge performance Sunday, 26 points and 9 assists for Caitlin Clark, a big road win in Atlanta in overtime, Caitlin Clark is now averaging close to 22 points a game and just over 8 assists a game. And those numbers still don't completely explain what she does for the Indiana Fever. Valuable. Clark doesn't just score. No, she creates the offense. She controls the pace. She stretches the defense in the set every time she, crosses half court. And most importantly, nobody knows what she's going to do. I mean, what is she going to do? Is she going to hit a basket from 30 feet? Is she going to distribute? But the most significant impact that Caitlin Clark is making, her team's winning. Her team is winning early and often. The Fever have now won 4 in a row. They've won 11 of their last 14, last I looked. This isn't just the Caitlin Clark popularity story anymore. Forget the TV ratings, forget the jersey sales, forget the commercials. I mean, I'm talking basketball. Let's compare the 2 MVP candidates. Yes, right now, A'ja Wilson is in the lead, but Caitlin Clark is right there. A'ja has the advantage in rebounding, the defensive advantage, sure. But Clark has a huge advantage in one area that is really enormous to me. What is that? She runs the entire show. Those 8.3 assists she's averaging, they aren't just a number. Every one of those assists creates points for somebody else on her team. Every possession begins with a defense asking, as I mentioned earlier, what is Caitlin Clark going to do? Pull up from 30 feet and hit the 3. Is she going to attack the basket? Is she going to give it up to Boston? Or is she going to give it up to Kelsey Mitchell? And lately, when Indiana has needed her the most, Clark has delivered another road victory, as I mentioned, Sunday in Atlanta, another game where she's controlling the offense. So here's my MVP question. Take Caitlin Clark off the Indiana Fever. What are they? What are they? That's what value means to me. I'm not voting for Caitlin Clark because she's the biggest star in women's basketball. No, I'm not voting for her because she sells tickets. I'm not voting for her because millions of people tune in to watch her. She's appointment viewing. No, that's not why I would vote for her. I'm voting for her for what she does on the basketball court. A'ja Wilson might have better stats, but MVP doesn't stand for best statistical resume. It stands for most valuable player. And if Caitlin Clark keeps playing like this, if Indiana keeps winning like this, then I have one question for everybody who says she is not the MVP. What else does Caitlin Clark have to do? Please tell me. Please fill me in. Caitlin Clark has my MVP vote, even though I don't have an MVP vote. If only I had one, but I don't have one.